Hi guys! Welcome back to another crafting with me, Avivah, your art director for the Ed Asner Family Center. I'm so excited for our craft today. We are going to be making galaxy recycled crayons, okay? So, you're gonna be needing only like 3 really important materials today. And that's gonna be old crayons. I've got full ones for you today just for the example. But you know, at the end of your box, they're kind of like run down and they're small, the paper's ripped off. They're just like kind of useless to draw with. They're so small now, right? So now we can reuse them with lots of different colors and make a whole new crayon out of them. All right, so I have my crayons, my old crayons, and then you are going to be needing, today I have a silicone mold, and I think they're fun because they actually come in different shapes. You can get them from any type of craft store. I think some ice cube trays are made out of silicone too, but you want to make sure about that before, because silicone is oven and microwave safe, so you want to make sure that it's like this. Or you could be using like a muffin tray, you know? Like, I suggest using like one of those mini muffin trays so you don't have like a giant crayon to draw with. But that's cool too, you know? Use a bunch of different colors and make a giant monster crayon. Okay, and so crayons, tray, and then you're gonna need some extra fine glitter if that's what you want. Okay, so since we're doing like kind of galaxy themed, we want it to make it look super spacey. I'm gonna be using some glitter, but that's up to you. Glitter is like really optional. You know, when you draw, it's not really gonna come out. You're not gonna really have like a glittery crayon, but for like aesthetic reasons, it looks cuter with glitter. All right, and then hopefully you have a helper or a friend or your parents or someone to help you out with. We're going to be using a knife today because we need to chop up those crayons. Or you can use a scissor. It'll be a little bit harder, but you know, it'll work. And then some paper because we want to use our crayons afterwards, right? Okay, so I'm not going to be showing you the whole process of like using the oven and everything, but I'm going to show you the steps that you're going to need to take to get these cute little crayons, okay? All right, so here I have my already made crayons. This is our end result, how they're gonna look at the end. Depending on your shape, you know, this is what they're gonna look like. As you can see, mine kind of have like a little bit of a dip here. And if you don't want that, you really want to make sure you fill your tray up to the top. But I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? I'm going to put those to the side. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my crayons here. And as you see, I have taken off all of the paper on these crayons. And being the impatient person I was, I didn't do like this step that really helps taking the paper off, which is soaking them. You know, if you know you're going to be doing this project today, I suggest before you have your breakfast or whatever, you're going to put your crayons in some warm soapy water and just let them soak until you're ready to take those kind of like paper wrappings off, okay? Or if you're impatient like me, I suggest taking like a scissor and kind of cutting down the middle, or just, you know, going for it and watching a show while you kind of like rip off all the paper. I definitely suggest soaking them though. Takes a lot of your crafting time. It makes it a lot less of a hassle. Okay, so now that I have all of my wrappers off, I have a few different colors here. I'll look at my paper just to show you. So for this like really cool galaxy kind of color here, it's not quite black because I've used this dark blue. I've used another dark blue. I guess actually, oh, here's a purple. And then here is like a lighter kind of blue. Okay, I'm doing a bunch of different tones. I guess I'd kind of stray away from using black unless you want your colors to be super dark. But, you know, I also suggest using dark colors in general, like cool tones, like greens and blues, purples, because it really shows up a lot better. Obviously, yellow colors will work, but they're not going to be as bright as your original crayons. Okay, So let me just move this out of the way here. We're going to start by cutting up our crayons, okay? So now's the time, and you're going to get your friend or helper or parent to help you start chopping these up, okay? So what I suggest is cutting them about 1 inch. So I'm going to be holding with one hand and using my knife with the other. You can also, if you have just like a butter knife around your house, I'm being like super extra. I'm using this like giant knife, but you can use a butter knife too. It's really not too tricky to cut through these. But as you see, my first cut, I'm only cutting little bits because I'm using a small tray today, right? You want to make sure that there's enough space for a bunch of different colors. So bear with me while I cut up all these crayons. I'm going to be cutting them about 1 inch apart. Some small pieces, just depends on your tray. Alrighty, I've cut up my crayon. If you notice, I didn't actually mention this in the beginning, but I'm using a plastic cutting board today because I made the mistake of cutting on a wooden one, and it's actually super hard to get those crayon marks off afterwards. So the cleanup will be a lot easier if you have like a plastic cutting board here. Or a piece of paper, I guess. Using a couple pieces of paper would be fine too. Alrighty, so also a helpful tip would definitely be kind of like separating your colors too, to know like which kind of color you're going to be putting in your tray and how much of one. The colors really do blend all together in the end here. As you can see on my crayon, some sides are a little bit lighter than others, so you get some variation of colors. But just to give you just an idea, I'm just going to be taking my tray here, and this is how you're going to be filling up your trays. I want bigger crayons, so I'm taking my crayons and kind of making sure that they're fully packed in there, as many as possible. You are going to probably have some overflow, but that's fine. That's when you just like clean it up at the end, and just kind of as you draw, those like kind of rough corners will be smooth. Will get pretty smooth once you start drawing with them. But see, I'm filling up my tray up to the top, just like this. And you know, at my craft store that I went to, there's a bunch of different types of molds that you can get too. I saw like a cute unicorn one. Lots of cute ideas that you can use. So now this is an important step, okay? For me, this is important. I'm gonna add my glitter, but as I'm telling you about this, so there's 2 different ways that you can actually bake these. And online, it says that you can cook them in the oven for about 5 minutes at 140. But you know, I found it easiest to actually put them in the microwave for only 3 and just let them kind of sizzle down. The smell is not great. I'm not a huge fan of that waxy smell, but to each their own, you know. But I definitely suggest using the microwave at 3 minutes. That was so easy, and it was a lot quicker than using the microwave, the oven. But it's totally up to you. If you do end up using the oven, you're gonna wanna make sure that you're putting your tray at that top rack, okay? So it's not like directly next to that heat at the bottom. All right, and so now, once you've popped them in the microwave or the oven, your pieces are going to be a little bit clumpy, and all you're going to do is just take your toothpick and kind of mix around that mixture, and then just pop it in the freezer for a little bit. I'd say like 10 minutes. I had mine in my freezer for about 10 minutes, and they're hard as a rock. And so I'm going to move this out of the way just so you can see how they draw. It's so pretty. Like I said, you're not going to really be able to see the glitter because it kind of just like gets stuck in there. But look at it's, I don't know if you can see it, but it is such a pretty blue. The mixture of like the darks and the lights made this really nice kind of electric blue here. Let me give it a little bit more color. Ooh, if you see here too, look, it has different tones too as you draw. Some sides are a little bit darker, some sides are a little lighter. I'm being like the worst at like swatching to show you how it looks. But if you can see, there's a bunch of different tones. That's why I kind of like using the star shape, because every single different point of the triangle has a different color on it. It's so cool how that actually turned out like that. But there you have it. That's our super simple project today of just making some recycled crayons. I think they're so cute. They're a really easy way to make sure that none of your crayons go to waste, you know, using them to that last little nub. So you don't have to go out of your house, you know, stay safe, stay indoors, and use the rest of your crayons that you have laying around, you know? I suggest, like I said in the beginning, getting one of your muffin trays and send me a picture of like your best kind of like monster mash of a bunch of different colors. I'd love to see. It'd be kind of like a Frankenstein crayon. A lot of different pieces mixed to make one giant crayon. Send me your pictures and your drawings of you using your homemade crayons. Okay, I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for crafting with me. I've had so much fun. All right, bye guys. See you next time.